Am I cursed? This is a question that followed me throughout my entire childhood and my adolescent years, even until university, where I felt like I didn't identify myself with any of the things that normal people liked. Having a 9 to 5, drinking beers in the weekend, partying, and just having a mortgage or having no bigger thing to work on. That's number one. Am I cursed in this era where I don't belong? And number two, whatever I tried to do, it seems that I was trying to do everything on my own. I was trying to work hard. I was conditioned to work hard, but still nothing happened. No results whatsoever happened in my life. How come? Maybe you have the same questions. Maybe you feel the same way. You've been working month and month and month and years and years and years, but your bank accounts still remain the same. Your relationships are stagnating. Your progress and your growth is stagnating, and you seem to have no breakthrough or big opportunities that allows you to make a quantum jump to the next level of your success. Well, today we're going to speak about how you've been programmed and you've been brainwashed to focus only on 33% of the entirety of the success equation. And today we're going to uncover the hidden remaining 67% of success that will make everything click for you. It's been more than 7 years of personal development, pure personal development, and I finally found the remaining 67% that made everything in terms of difference in my life, in every single aspect of life. By the way, if you're watching this channel and watching this video and you're new to this channel, my main goal is for you to implement everything that I'm telling you in these videos, for you to start becoming time, money, and location free with your online business. Or what I would recommend personally, because I'm huge into elevating other people, is building your personal brand in online coaching business. But if that's not your cup of tea, that's completely fine. You can still use the principles that I'm using and I'm not teaching in these videos for you to start becoming time, money, and location free. So then you can be having a full-time job working on your personal development and working on having a complete mind and excel in all aspects. Because I'm sick and tired of seeing all these millionaires, not only one, fat, obese, unhealthy, weird, creeps, simps, millionaires that are only focusing on chasing money, and then once they focused on chasing money, they had no inner growth, no personal development, no relationship whatsoever, and now they're depressed because they feel empty inside. They've been chasing money their entire life, they feel empty inside, and that's why you have you do not realize, if you're not a millionaire yet, and you don't have millionaire friends, you do not realize the number of millionaires that are absolutely depressed because they focused purely on the financial aspect of things, okay? This is why this channel exists. I'm sick and tired of seeing all these millionaires that are depressed. I don't want you to make the same mistake, and that's why we're going to uncover the 67% of success for you to better yourself, to have that inner growth necessary, not only to make money, but overall attract a bunch of abundance and opportunities in your life. This is going to be the main difference between you right now and the people that you see that are naturally attracting a bunch of opportunities in their lives. The 67%, let's go. By the way, this 67% is literally what the secret societies are all about, okay? There is a reason why secret societies exist. I'm sure you guys have seen, oh, knowledge is only potential power. Let me tell you why that's wrong. Knowledge equals potential power. Because people are saying, yeah, but if you don't apply the knowledge, well, you know, if you don't apply the knowledge, then obviously it's useless. Well, of course, dumb fuck. But at least at the end of the day, you are an anomaly. If you are watching this video right now, it's because you're high IQ, okay? So obviously, if you have the right amount of knowledge, you're gonna apply it. Now, the thing is, this is absolutely wrong because goes against the principle of secret society. What is the principle of secret societies? They are gatekeeping the right knowledge. There's two types of knowledge in this world, okay? Two types of knowledge in this world. You have the knowledge for the masses, that's the masses, and that is called exoteric knowledge. That's the exoteric. And then you have the right knowledge for the initiated, for the lucky few. and that's esoteric knowledge. Okay? And what we aim to do in this channel is to give you the real knowledge that will make the difference. Okay? Because at the end of the day, the difference between the wrong knowledge and the right knowledge can make you rich, can save your life health-wise. If, for instance, during a few years ago, during 2020, when there was something that created a lockdown, if you had the masses information, you would be fearful, you would be forced to do some stuff, you would basically follow the crowd like a good little sheep. But if you had the right esoteric knowledge of the initiated, well, then you would know exactly what to do, not to be forced to inject some stuff in your body, etc. I don't want the YouTube channel to be, bad. Either way, so if you had the right amount of knowledge, you would know exactly where to go, not to be forced to do stuff that you didn't want to do. Okay, so the right amount of knowledge is power in of itself. So of course, if you had tomorrow, if you knew how to do exactly $10 million with a click of a button, of course you would apply it. Okay, so the knowledge is only potential power. If you have the right knowledge, of course you're going to apply it. Okay, so the right knowledge equals power. The right esoteric knowledge equals power. Esoteric knowledge simply means the knowledge for the initiated. Exoteric basically means the knowledge for the masses. Okay, we aim to have the right knowledge to be able to have the biggest amount of leverage. Take some notes. If you're here just to watch the video and just to be entertained, please unsubscribe, unfollow, click off this video, because this is not for you. Only for anomalies looking to truly get to the next level when it comes to making money online, when it comes to becoming free and excelling in all aspects. Okay, so with the right knowledge, you do not realize how powerful the right knowledge is. This is why secret societies exist. They are gatekeeping esoteric information. That's why you go through a certain level of initiation to be able to access these types of esoteric knowledge. And again, with the right knowledge, even governments sometimes gatekeep the right amount of knowledge because it's so powerful that they make it illegal. An example would be typically insider information. When you're buying stocks, if you have the right information at the right time, you can do the right action and therefore you can have the right results. Okay? Now, it's important to understand that you've been brainwashed since your entire life from society, broke parents, unsuccessful friends, unsuccessful teachers, to focus only on 33% of the entire success equation. What is the 33% of the entire success equation? Is two words: hard work. That's a scam. Why? Simply because if hard work was the source to riches and fulfillment and happiness, well, construction workers, cleaning ladies, and people who work extremely hard would already be making millions, be happy, fulfilled, and overall successful in all aspects, which they are not. I have so many clients that were construction workers before, and they told me, Hugo, it's really and truly for the amount of hours that we put in and for the physical labor that we put in, the amount of the payout is not worth it, because then they get back pain after years of work, etc., etc., etc. So that's the first 33%. It's hard work. Okay. Now it's good to take action. Don't get me wrong. Physical action, taking it's not even hard work. We'll see it later down the line. But the 33% of the equation is action. That's fine. But you're not just a robot. You're not just like an animal taking action. You are much more than that. The other 33%, can you guess what it is? Well, obviously you can't respond, but it is the mind. It is the mind. All the great philosophers, all the great teachers always focus on the mind, okay? The mind is the cause. The mind is extremely important. Once you start using the mind, well, weirdly enough, you can then have some smart work, you can have leverage work, and this is when you start to do better things, you start to do better work instead of just focusing purely on repetitive, boring tasks, okay? Then, can you guess what the last 33% is? It's metaphysical work. What does that mean? It's the spirits. Why am I speaking about this? This is literally what they gatekeep in secret societies, okay? You are not just an animal, okay? You're not just an AI. So AI would be mind plus action, right? Machine learning and artificial intelligence, mind and action. You are a mind, body, and spirit, okay? You are all three. You are all three. And the problem is you've been programmed and brainwashed to only focus on one part of the entirety of the success equation. Working hard, just, putting in the reps, being a hustler and stuff like that. And then you wonder why after month and month and month and years and years and years, you're still stuck at the same thing. The problem is, again, I'm going to quote Einstein here, but insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. You need a better perspective, thanks to the mind, and you need a better identity, thanks to the spirit. We're going to exactly tell you how to do this. But please, for the love of God, understand that you have been programmed to follow just what the society tells you to do, just focus on the work, and then over time, maybe by some miracle, with enough momentum, enough consistency, enough discipline, it's going to work. No, if you keep banging your head against the wall, the same wall that is titanium, no matter of banging the head is going to ever create a hole on the titanium, okay? You need better tools, and you need better blueprints, and you need a better identity to understand what's truly going on in life, okay? So, how do we activate those 33%? Well, first and foremost, you need to stop thinking that you need to only work hard. And even working smart is not enough, because at the end of the day, you can be having a bunch of different degrees. I have a bachelor degree and a master's degree in an Ivy League school, and it was a shortcut to the rat race. And that's why, I don't know if you've watched the news lately, but 25% of MBA graduates of Harvard are still struggling to find a job. So you cannot rely on the system, you need to create your own cash flow system, which is what this entire YouTube channel is all about, and my brand is all about, helping you become sovereign in all aspects, for you to become time, money, and location free, and therefore being able to work on yourself every single day, okay? Cool. So smart work and being smart or having degrees or certifications or education is not enough, okay? Because most, of course, we anomalies know that being smart doesn't equate certification, and certification doesn't equate smartness. But that's what society has been brainwashing you to think. So hard work is not enough, smart work is not enough. Working metaphysically, what does it mean? It means, metaphysically means understanding the unseen forces. It means leveraging all three planes. You've been programmed to what? To do what? For success in life. Society's view of success is what? You need to do a bunch of things to have the mortgage, the house, the supercar, and then you'll be happy. Do you understand why this is wrong? And do you understand, in the beginning of the video, I told you all these millionaires, they focus on the money. They focus on working hard. Working hard to have the money, and then they think they're going to be happy, but they're not. They end up depressed, okay? Happiness is not something that you can get. It's not something that you can chase. Happiness is created in the now, not in the future, okay? Yes, of course, you can tell me, but with more money, I'll be less stressed. Of course, you're not a dumbass, right? Of course, with less money, you're going to be less stressed. But at the end of the day, if you're able to be happy when you're broke, you'll be 10 times more happy when you are rich and successful. Because money is simply an amplifier, okay? Please write it down. Money is an amplifier. If you are a bad person and I give you $1 million, you're going to be a bad person with much more leverage to do bad things, okay? So you see how money being an amplifier, if you're unhappy now, money won't solve your happiness. Of course, it's going to allow you to buy things that will slightly elevate your fulfillment level and happiness level. But I'm telling you, I've been through all the hedonistic stuff. My clients, my successful clients, they've been through the hedonistic stuff. They've been through the materialistic stuff. If you're not happy inside, if you haven't done the inner growth, you're not going to be able to be happy with money. It's just going to try to fill an inner void with some external stuff. It doesn't work, okay? Money is an amplifier. So why wait being happy when you can be happy, and that in of it itself is going to be extremely attractive for money? Well, again, right? We don't want to have the society's view of success. The real, I'm going to tell you, secret society's view, because that's like mainstream society's view of success. The quote unquote esoteric, let's say, esoteric view or truth of success. And by the way, I'm not just speaking out of my ass here. This is based on 7 years of personal development, 9 years of questioning, 437 plus clients, me having been introduced to multimillionaires, centimillionaires, and secret societies. This is the esoteric truth that I've seen come out of all of this research that I've done, okay? So the esoteric truth of success is you first are a certain identity. Can you see properly? Okay. You first are the person that you decide to be, which will fuel different types of actions, so do, and then you will have, lastly, the material stuff. Because at the end of the day, you are not just a machine, you're not just material possession will not make you happy. You first need to be successful in your mind, do the actions that your successful version of yourself would do, and then naturally you'll have the materialistic stuff or the outcomes that your successful self will have. Now, it's important to understand that before anything happens physically, so that's the material, right? Material. It first exists as a potential, okay? That's you stacking, by you doing this, you're stacking vibrations. Before anything happens materialistically, it first exists mentally and vibrationally, okay? You putting inputs every single day, doing actions, you are stacking up the law of energetical momentum. I want you to imagine a vibrational bank account, okay? I want you to imagine that before you get physical money, okay, you're first going to stack up the potential of money. Okay? You're first going to stack up the potential, and these little potential over time is going to stack up, and then it's going to overspill into physical reality, into the material, okay? But of course you can only stack this up by you doing the right amount of action, the right action. And that, how do we know what type of right action to do? Well, it stems from who we are, okay? You do not get what you want in life, you get who you are, okay? You do not attract what you want, you attract who you are, what you are in a vibrational alignment with, which is why it's extremely important for you to be the identity that you wish to become before anything else, okay? That's the spirit aspect of things, because at the end of the day, a spirit is malleable, it can be whatever it wants. So that's the spirit. Okay, that's the mental, that's the mind, because only then can you conceptualize the right amount of actions that it's smart work supercharged by the mind, okay, to do, because that's the mental world, right? Mental world, vibrational world. And then only after that can you have the body aspect of things, meaning the physical aspect of things, because the body is the physical aspect of things. Potentiality, stacking of vibration, material. You first are successful in your mind, then you do the things that your successful version of yourself would do, that therefore allowing you to stack vibrations, You stack vibration in the mental world, which naturally will overspill into physical reality and then attract the right material stuff, the body versions of things. That's why you have all the great champions, all the great philosophers, all the great athletes saying to you what? They tell you, I was first a champion in my mind before I was in physical reality. I was first rich in my mind before I got rich in the bank. Okay? So that what does that mean? It means I was first rich in my mind before I was rich in the bank. But what does that mean? It means that they decided to have the identity of someone rich, of a rich person. Okay? So stop thinking that you only need to work hard or work smart or accumulate degrees. You need to first think, okay, who am I trying to become? Reverse engineer this. What is my outcome in terms of have? Cool. What type of person do I need to be to naturally attract this in my life? Cool. Then, once you start embodying that person, you'll see naturally after you sleep, because your subconscious mind will then naturally kind of like rewire this new identity while you sleep. When you wake up, you will feel compelled to do certain actions that will then lead quickly to the have. That's why you've been stuck for months and years, always coming back to the same place, because you're purely focusing on the have and sometimes simply on the do, without before that becoming the be, operating from a higher place of frequency, higher place of vibration. Okay, so that's the 33% is the spirit that you lacked. Then you lacked the clear understanding of the mind, which is the 33% also, and then you have the last 33%. Okay, last but not least, what does that mean? Well, that's the spirit aspect of things is going to allow you to quantum jump your way to success instead of going very linearly. That's going to allow you to make quantum jumps with your shift of identity. This, the mind aspect of things, the do, will not just be repetitive, boring task and banging your head on the wall. It's going to allow you to take leveraged work, to do leverage, to take leverage action, otherwise known as the Pareto law. Pareto law. What does that mean? Pareto law is basically focusing on the few things. Extreme Pareto is focusing on the few things that make all the difference. So instead of only focusing on 20% of the actions that get you 80% of the results, I want you to even focus on the 5% of the actions that get you 90% of the results. And that's how the secret societies and the elites are doing it. They don't stop at Pareto. They really do an extreme Pareto. They focus on what is the number one, the few things that make all the difference for my business, for my relationships, or anything like that. So ask yourself, okay, in my business right now, what is the thing that has the most amount of leverage and that would make basically everything kind of like unnecessary, right? Well, depending on who you are, what you do, maybe it's shaking hands, maybe it's creating content, maybe it's going to networking events. Go back to the history of your past success. What was the things that you did that had the most amount of impact, and then focus on that. And then last but not least, leverage Pareto. This is then when you can start it to put in the reps and transforming that into a habit. Because if you put in the bad reps and the bad habits, then obviously you're not going to be successful. If you reps/habits. If you have the bad amount of reps and habits, well, obviously it's not going to lead anywhere.